Okay.
Okay, should I start again?
If you want to, okay, okay.
Okay, so let's go. So I will just tell you slide one, slide two, so that you know what to look at. Okay, you will have to listen. Okay, or just like present it. Yeah, is that a presentation view? Okay, where's the presentation? Yeah, just for presentation. Yeah, that's easier. That's I think that's better because you'll know what will be the next slide. Oh no. Okay, ready? Yay! Good morning, Mom. Thank you for joining me for this in-depth exploration of standardization and adaptation in global marketing. Today, we'll examine how multinational companies navigate the complex challenges of marketing their products and services across diverse international markets. We'll look at the evolution of key theories, analyze real-world case studies from industries like consumer goods, technology, automotive, and food and beverage, and then discuss actionable frameworks and best practices. By the end of this presentation, you'll have a comprehensive understanding of how global brands balance the need for efficiency with the necessity of a local relevance. Next slide. Here's what we will cover today. We will start with the theoretical foundations. We'll start by reviewing the academic theories that have shaped global marketing strategy from early standardization advocates to modern contingency approaches. And then we will be discussing standardization versus adaptation debate. We'll discuss the pros and cons of each approach and why this debate remains central to international marketing, then followed by industry applications and case studies. We'll see how leading companies like Coca-Cola, McDonald's, Apple, and Nike apply these strategies in practices and what lessons we can learn from their successes and challenges. Then we will have to focus our attention to strategic frameworks. I'll introduce decision-making tools and models that help companies choose the right mix of standardization and adaptation. Performance implications and best practices. We'll look at how these choices impact business results and what best practices have emerged from research and experience. And lastly, future trends. We'll discuss how digital transformations, sustainability, and changing consumer expectations are shaping the future of global marketing. Next slide. The global marketing challenge. Global marketing is fundamentally about managing tensions between two competing goals. We have your global efficiency. Companies want to standardize their products and marketing to achieve economies of scale, reduce costs, and present a unified brand image. And then for the local relevance, at the same time, they must adapt to the unique cultural, economic, and regulatory conditions of each market to truly connect with local consumers. The key strategic questions we might be asking here is, should we offer the same product and message everywhere or tailor them for each market? What do you think? Another question you might be asking is, how do we balance cost savings with the need for local customization? The trade-off here is that standardization can lower production and marketing costs, but may result in products or campaigns that don't resonate locally. Something might be effective in the US, but will not be effective here in Vietnam. Adaptation can drive local market share and customer loyalty, but increases complexity and cost. The right balance can drive both revenue growth and operational efficiency. The wrong balance can lead to missed opportunities or wasted resources. A more complex factors will include cultural differences like language, values, traditions, and then there will also be regulatory requirements like the laws, standards, and certifications. Vietnam might have some lenient laws compared to the US, for example. And then we will also have to think about the competitive landscapes, local versus global competitors. And then lastly is the infrastructure and distribution challenges. A global For example, a global fast food chain may want to use the same menu worldwide, but local dietary restrictions or taste preferences may require significant adaptation. Next slide. Can we take a pause? I feel like laughing.
Yeah, take a pause. Take a pause.
Historical evolution of global marketing theory. Let's trace the evolution of this. In the 1960s, early scholars like Ellinger believed that European markets were becoming more similar, advocating for standardized marketing. In 1983, Theodore Levitt's one famous article, The Globalization of Markets, argued that technology and communication were making consumer preferences converge globally, supporting a standardized approach. In the 1980s to 1990s, researchers like Douglas and Wynne challenged this, showing that cultural and market differences persisted and that adaptation was often necessary. Bartlett and Gottschall introduced the transnational model, which recognized the need to balance global integration with local responsiveness. 2000s up to the present, the concept of localization emerged, emphasizing the need to combine global and local strategies. Contin- I don't know how to read it. I've been saying it anymore. Contingency approaches now dominate, suggesting that the best strategy depends on the specific context, industry, product, market, and company capabilities. For example, the shift from one size fits all to think global to think global act local is now widely accepted in both academia and practice. Did you understand?
Yes, kitty.
Okay, next. Levitt's, let's further discuss about Levitt's globalization theory. Levitt's theory was groundbreaking in this time. Core premises include advances in technology, transportation, and communication are making consumer needs and preferences more similar worldwide. We have some key arguments here. The standardized products and marketing can achieve massive economies of scale. Consistent brand image builds global recognition and trust. Cost savings from unified production and advertising can be invested in innovation or price competitiveness. The strategic focus here focuses companies should minimize local variations and focus on a single global offering. The expected benefits of this focus is that lower costs, simplified operations, and a strong unified brand. But the critical limitations include this approach can fail if it ignores important like legal or market differences. For example, a standardized product may not meet local tastes or regulatory requirements, leading to poor sales or legal issues. Early global campaigns, brands like Coca-Cola and McDonald's were inspired by Levitt's ideas, but both companies later realized the need for adaptation. Next slide. The adaptation and school response argues that local differences matter a lot. Cultural differences, language, values, traditions, and social norms can dramatically affect how products are perceived and used. For example, advertising that works in the US may be misunderstood or even offensive in another culture. Market conditions, economic development, infrastructure, and consumer purchasing power vary widely. Example for this is a luxury product may need to be repositioned or reformulated for emerging markets. And then we have the regulatory environment. Local laws, standards, and certifications can require changes to products, packaging, or marketing. especially, for example, the food labeling requirements may differ country to country. And then we have consumer preferences, taste, usage patterns, and expectations are unique to each market. Examples, snack flavors popular in Asia may not sell in Europe. Lastly, competitive landscape. Local competitors may have deep knowledge, market knowledge, and established relationships. An example here is a global brand may need to adopt its strategy to compete with the strong players. Adaptation is often necessary to achieve local market success, even if it increases complexity and cost. Next slide. This is a Bartlett and Goshal's transnational model. The model helps companies navigate the tension between global integration and local responsiveness. This is a 2 by 2 matrix, as we can see. In the x-axis, it presents us the pressure for global integration, the cost, the efficiency, and the consistency, while the y-axis pressure for local responsiveness, adaptation, and flexibility. For strategic options, we have the global strategy, high integration, low responsiveness. Then we have the international strategy, high integration, high responsiveness, the red one. Oh, I have, so if I have to learn it, yeah. And then domestic strategies, low integration, high pressure, translational, sorry, high, blah, 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 blah. Hiya, bum. Next slide.
Okay, okay.
I don't want to further. That's just theory. So here is the contemporary theoretical frameworks. Modern research offers several frameworks for understanding global marketing strategy. We have first here contingency theory. There is no universal best strategy. The optimal approach depends on the specific context, the industry, the product market, and the company. And then we have resource-based view. Companies should leverage their unique resources and capabilities, whether whatever brand it is, technology, and the know-how to compete globally. And then there is the institutional theory. Firms must adapt to local institutions, including laws, regulations, and cultural norms. Followed by the network theory. Success often depends on building and leveraging relationships with local partners, distributors, and stakeholders. Then we have dynamic capabilities. Companies need to develop the ability to sense and respond quickly to the changes in the global environment. For example, a tech company may use its R&D strength, resource-based view to launch a global product, but must adapt to a local data privacy laws. It is the institutional theory and resource-based view theory. Next slide. Industry analysis framework. Before deciding on a standardization or adaptation, companies should analyze industry characteristics. Is the industry technology intensive? Are there opportunities for economies of scale? Is competition global or local? And then for the market factors, how culturally distant is the target market? How developed is the economy? How intense is the local competition? And then the product attributes. Is the product complex or simple? Is it culturally sensitive? Are usage patterns similar or different? Next, we have the company factors. Does the company have the resources and experiences to manage local adaptations? What are its strategic objectives? And the last one, regulatory environment. Are there local standards, legal restrictions, or compliance costs that must be considered? For example, is a pharmaceutical company must adapt to local regulatories and regulations, while a software company may be able to standardize more easily. Do you want to take a break, Bum Bum? Or do you want to stop?
You want a break?
What do you want to? We will now proceed with the case studies. Next. Okay, ready. We're still on slide 10. Now we will be looking at some case studies. For the first one, we have consumer goods industry, Coca-Cola case study. Coca-Cola is a master of balancing standardization and adaptations. Standardized elements, the core formula is consistent worldwide, ensuring the same taste and quality. The brand identity, you can easily identify Coca-Cola with its logo, color scheme, and core messaging remains unified, right? You can identify Coca-Cola whether you go to the US or any parts of Asia. Next, global campaigns like Open Happiness are used across markets. Then adapted elements. Sweetness levels are adjusted for local taste, sweeter in some Asian countries. If you have traveled to other countries and ordered Coca-Cola, you will know the taste difference, but still it's sweet, right? You will still know that it is Coca-Cola. Next, the local flavor variants are introduced. There's a green tea Coke in Japan. If you have not been to Japan, you should try to look at it. There's a green tea Coke in Japan. Next is, where am I? Then the marketing messages are tailored to reflect local culture and values. And then we have the marketing strategy. Universal emotional themes are being evoked here. Happiness and togetherness are expressed in ways that resonate locally. And then the performance results. This approach has built global brand recognition and strong local market penetration. The key success factors here is that there's a strong brand foundation combined with a willingness to adopt where it matters. During Ramadan, Coca-Cola runs special campaigns in Muslim majority countries showing cultural sensitivity. Next slide. We have here fast food industry, McDonald's case study. McDonald's is a textbook example of localization. Standardized elements here include the operational system, the quality standards, and the core menu items like the Big Mac are consistent worldwide. The brand identity and customer experience are carefully managed. Then there's the regional adaptations. Menu items are tailored to local tastes. Like Mac Aloo Tiki in India is a potato patty for vegetarians. And then in Japan, there's a teriyaki Mac burger. In the Philippines, there's Mac rice. And then in India, there's a Mahara Mac. It's a chicken instead of beef burger. Local sourcing and preparation methods are used to meet dietary and religious requirements. For example, the halal certification. Next is the cultural sensitivity. Vegetarian options in India, pork-free menus in Muslim countries, and rice-based meals in Asia. This strategic approach is think global, act local, embedded in their operations. This strategy has enabled McDonald's to succeed in the diverse markets, often outperforming local competitors. For example, in France, McDonald's offers macarons and espresso to appeal to local tastes. Let's go to the next slide. Let's look at the technology industry, the Apple case study. Apple's approach is heavily standardized. So here it applies that standardization approach where product designs, features, and user interfaces are nearly identical worldwide. The brand is positioned as premium and innovative everywhere. And there is a minimal adaptation applied here. The language and localization for software and packaging, compliance with local regulations such as adapting to USB-C in the EU, and then the brand strategies, the same with the marketing messages focus on design, innovation, and lifestyle with little variation. Their operational benefits, there's a massive economies of scale in production and marketing, and then simplified global supply chain and inventory management. The challenges include is limited customization can be drawback in the markets with unique needs or preferences. So in China, for example, Apple has made some adaptations such as integrating local apps and payment systems, but the core product remains unchanged. Next, Bum Bum, next. Athletic wear industry. Is it Nike or Nike? I don't know. Is it Nike?
Nike.
Nike case study. For the standardization strategy, it blends a global consistency and selective adaptations. So standardization, their strategy is where product design and quality standards are consistent worldwide. Global brand messaging focuses on athletic performance and inspiration and empowerment. Then their marketing approach for their products is a celebrity athlete endorsements like Michael Jordan, Serena Williams, and major sports sponsorships like Olympics and the World Cup are used globally. The limited adaptations here is that regional sports preferences are reflected in marketing, like cricket in India, soccer in Europe. So that's their limitation. There's also the local athlete partnerships and market-specific campaigns are used to connect with the consumers. And then the competitive advantage here, strong global brand equity and innovation leaderships. Market advantages, strong well, market performance. Nike holds dominant market share in many regions thanks to its consistent yet flexible approach. For example, Nike's Just Do It slogan is used worldwide, but local campaigns may feature different athletes or sports, right? Boom, boom. Let's take a break again.
Okay, okay.
Yes, we'll be discussing